We're touching on every NFL game today, and there's only 4 this weekend. We're touching on every NFL game, and we're talking about all the details of what's going to happen in them. I'm here today with Lance Fernandez, who's one of the writers over on whatsonsports.com. That's our website. We invite you to go over and check out What's on Sports whenever you want to. But right now, before we go any further, I just want to remind you one more time about our sponsor, Sports Trading Systems. For those of you wanting to learn how to trade sports like stocks, or for those of you that didn't even know that you could trade sports like stocks, you need to go over and talk to our friends at sportstradingsystems.com. It's an incredibly revolutionary new system that uses back-tested historical data in sports to actually predict the possible outcomes of games that are happening today. Last week they were 5-1 throughout the NBA basketball season. They've already made their VIP members almost 80% returns on their original investment. Sports Trading Systems is doing something that no one else in the industry is doing, and you need to go over today and check it out. And if you want to really get a great deal while you're over there visiting our friends at Sports Trading Systems, you can just punch in the code WINNER when you cash out your product. So you buy a product, say, I want to get some picks for the weekend. I want to try the Sports Trading System for basketball season, for the entire season. Use the promo code WINNING at the end when you check out, and you will get yourself a 30% discount. Today, tell me your friends over here at What's on Sports sent you over there. Lance, we're going to be talking about our next game right now. When the Cleveland Browns go and visit the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, all year long, everybody's been saying Kansas City's a team to beat because they won last year and they have Patrick Mahomes. They're the team, unbeatable, undeniable, path straight to the Super Bowl, probably going to win the Super Bowl. That's what people are saying. But this week, they're playing against a pretty tough Cleveland Browns team that's coming off the biggest win maybe in their franchise's history. You're going to take the Chiefs. You got an easy route here. You're going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Browns. Let's start with offense. Tell me what the Chiefs need to do to win.
Well, why deviate away from something that has worked for you for 16 games or throughout the season? It's still the passing attack, which is the bread and butter of the Kansas City Chiefs. They are so scary that even though there are times that they struggle during the middle of the game, they can just flip on the switch and go into beast mode and then eventually gain 7 or 14 points in like 5 minutes. They are that menacing when it comes to the offensive side on the ball. And all they have to do is to continue to find that connection between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That has been their bread and butter connection all throughout this season. And if they can continue to feed Kelce with whichever route or continue to find him down the field, then the routes for Tyreek Hill and Hardman will also open for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's fascinating that we have a top team in the league, wherein a tight end is one of the leading receivers. So we don't hear much about that in the NFL, but we have right now in the Chiefs rather, with Travis Kelce. So if Patrick Mahomes can continue to find his tight end, then it will open up for the other routes like Tyreek Hill and Hardman. But I guess the X factor for this game, coming into this game, is to have a fourth receiver who can also gain some yardage, not as much, but can help move the change further. And I guess that's where Sammy Watkins will come in. I hope that he will be able to have a good game. And if he gains at least 50 or 60 yards, then the Kansas City Chiefs will be in a good position to go to the AFC Championship game.
Look, I think the biggest acquisition that the Cleveland Browns have ever made in their history is going to end up being Baker Mayfield. And I said this before the draft. I said that Baker Mayfield should be the first overall pick in that draft, and people thought I was crazy. Nobody thought Baker Mayfield was going to go first except for me. And I think Baker Mayfield goes first, not because he's the most elite arm talent that we've ever seen, not because he's got Lamar Jackson type of athleticism, not because he sees the field better than anybody. I think Baker Mayfield was the best choice that they ever made because Baker Mayfield is a dog. And Baker Mayfield will go out there and fight you in the middle of the field if he has to. And when you're 6'1", small quarterback will go out there and fight the other team in the middle of the field and will be leading the charge. The rest of the team will rally behind that. And this is a team that was questioning whether or not they were good. And after last week in Pittsburgh, and a game that I truly believe Pittsburgh gave them, Cleveland believes. And that's a dangerous thing right now. And Cleveland knows that they have something that very few teams in the NFL have right now. The Cleveland Browns have a dominant, and I mean dominant run game with a two-headed attack with Chubb and Hunt, and they can run the football better than almost any team in football except the Ravens. And they might be right up there with them. And when they can run the football, and Kansas City has trouble stopping someone that can run the football. When they can run the football, that opens up Baker Mayfield to the play action pass, to those little boots that he does, and it makes them a very, very dangerous team. That's a team without a superstar wide receiver, and that's the best thing in the world for them because Jarvis Landry is the other key to what I think is a cultural revolution happening in Cleveland. Jarvis Landry is the closest player we've seen to Hines Ward since Hines Ward retired. Jarvis Landry will go out there and jaw with you. Jarvis Landry will go out there and hit you. Jarvis Landry is another dog, and that's two dogs on offense. And when you have guys on offense that are willing to go out there and fight and put up that kind of attitude put forward, puts a lot of pressure on your defense because your defense is supposed to be the dogs. Your defense is supposed to be the guys going out there and ripping apart the other team. When your offense is doing it for you, when you have five guys up front, an offensive line that can just maul people, you got running backs that can run people over, you got wide receivers trying to knock out linebackers, and you got quarterbacks that aren't afraid to go out and get in a fist fight, that puts the pressure on the defense to bring it as well. I think Kansas City is going to have their hands full with Cleveland. If they get behind on Cleveland, it's not going to be as easy to come back on them as it has been on other teams. Cleveland, the keys to offense: run the ball, get the ball out of Baker's hands quickly, like they did last week. If they run the same offense they ran last week, they have a chance to beat Kansas City. Let's talk about the defense, Lance.
Okay, so for the defense, I firmly believe that the Kansas City offense has carried the Kansas City defense multiple times throughout the regular season. It's just so happened that they have a very dominating offensive attack that it masks their inconsistencies and holes in defense. And the worst is that Kansas City was ranked 21st in run defense in the regular season, and they are going up against a team that has a potent run game with the seventh best rusher in the regular season in Nick Chubb and the 16th best rusher in Kareem Hunt. So there lies the problem for the Kansas City defense, and now is the time for them to rise up. It's just plain and simple. They have to elevate their game. They should not rely on the Kansas City offense to always bail them out, and they have to hit the Cleveland offense hard, especially their backfield tandem of Hunt and Chubb. If they can continually stop the Cleveland backfield rather, or even gain some negative yards in some of the plays that Cleveland can run, I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs can win this by a blowout. So it's time for the Kansas City Chiefs defense to just step up and elevate the game. Because mind you, interesting stat, during the regular season, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated teams with winning records by an average margin of only 7 points per game. And that includes 2 3-point wins. That's against the Buccaneers. And that stat is telling alone that the problem doesn't lie in the offense, because it's the number one ranked offense in the NFL. So the defense must be held in the same esteem as the Kansas City offense. Yeah. They have to elevate, they have to step up, and now is the time to prove that they're also part of the success of this team.
You know, I think for Cleveland on defense, I think it's 2 words. I think the words are Myles Garrett. A little over a year ago, Myles Garrett was in probably one of the most embarrassing situations of his life. You know, he took off the helmet of a Pittsburgh Steeler, took a swing at him. Mason Rudolph took a swing at him with his own helmet. It was national news. Everybody was talking about it. It was a deplorable thing to do. And I think Myles Garrett realized that his reputation took a huge hit. By all accounts, Myles Garrett's supposed to be a really nice guy, a very well-read person, educated, smart guy. People think that Myles Garrett is a really, really good person. So, but by all accounts, this destroyed his reputation, not only as a football player, but as a man. This is his opportunity right now to fix that. And I know that you can't repair what you did as a person, but as a player in the NFL, your play will always supersede everything else. And Myles Garrett has to know that. Myles Garrett is one of the top 5 pass rushers in the NFL right now. He might be one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL right now. He is an absolute beast, and he can take over a game by himself. And if he does, and he gets inside Patrick Mahomes' head of like, this giant dude who swings helmets is coming after me on every play, then he could change the entire tempo of that game. So to me, this really relies, as much as I'm not a big, like, it's all on one player type of guy, this really relies on the pass rush of Cleveland and Myles Garrett and how much they can get inside the backfield of Kansas City and how much they can contain Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is the best off-schedule passer in the NFL today. There is no conversation about it. He is the best off-schedule passer in the NFL. And when I say off-schedule, I mean he takes his 3-step, his 5-step drop. He looks, the guy's not open, and then he just runs around until the guy comes open. He is the more athletic version of what Ben Roethlisberger was years ago. And he's got that ability, and his receivers know, oh, we're off schedule. I'm no longer running this route. We're off schedule. I'm just trying to get open. And they're great at doing it. Cleveland's got to be able to get back there and stop that. He cannot run around the pocket for 5 and 6 seconds, because he will kill you, and he will make big plays, and he will make huge comebacks. So that's the key for me for the Cleveland Browns on defense. Touchdown!